I move for acceptance of the Joint Committee's favorable report and passage of the bill.
The question before the chamber uh, is on acceptance of the Joint Committee's favorable report and passage of the bill. Representative Simmons.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This bill creates an Entrepreneur Learner's Permit pilot program, which aims to attract new businesses to Connecticut and to encourage entrepreneurship in our state. The way it works is any business that falls within the information services sector, the biotechnology sector, or the green technology sector would be able to apply for eligibility in this program and be able to start a business in Connecticut without having to pay for the state permitting and filing fees associated with the startup costs for this business. They would apply for reimbursement for these fees through Connecticut Innovations, and Connecticut Innovations would fully administer and fund this program through their existing appropriations. So there will be no fiscal note on this bill and no impact to the general fund. I'm really excited and passionate about this bill because I believe it will encourage entrepreneurship in Connecticut and create job growth in our state. And I'm very proud that it's a pro-business, bipartisan bill, and want to specifically thank the Commerce Chair, Chris Perrone, as well as ranking members Fred Camillo and Senator Scott France for their help with this bill. And I urge my colleagues to support this bill. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam. Will you remark further on the bill? Will you remark further on the bill? Representative Camillo.
Good afternoon, Madam Speaker. Through you, a few questions to the proponent of the bill.
You may proceed, sir.
Thank you. This bill, as Representative Simmons said, assists first-time entrepreneurs with providing reimbursements as they start their businesses. And as the representative said, it's going to be focusing on bio and green technology sectors as well as information centers. So just a question on that. How do we factor in, focus on those three and not any other ones? Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Speaker. Thank you for that question, Representative. And we decided to choose those industries because they've been identified as high-growth, emerging industries in our state. And so we wanted to capitalize on our strengths and high-growth industries for this program. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you for the answer to Representative Simmons. How long do these applicants have to wait for the reimbursements? Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Through you, Madam Speaker, we've spoken to Connecticut Innovations, and they've indicated that it will take approximately 30 to 60 days to be reimbursed. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Camillo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the gentlelady for her answer. Part of this bill also focuses on minority and women-owned businesses, giving a preference to those. My question to the proponent of the bill is, will that exclude anybody else from applying for a reimbursement? Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Speaker. No, it certainly would not preclude other individuals from applying for this program. We encourage all entrepreneurs to apply. We decided to give a slight preference to women and minority-owned businesses, given the historical discrimination those groups have faced, but by no means would it preclude other individuals from applying. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Camillo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank the gentlelady for her answer. Just to be clear and to clarify, so this would only be in those rare cases where there may be a tie for the funds. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Through you, Madam Speaker, yes, that's correct. There'd be a slight preference given a tie.
Representative Camillo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you for that answer. The CI has $500,000 worth of funding available here. If a first-time entrepreneur applies for a reimbursement, and this would be a great problem to have, all of a sudden there's no more money left there, could that entrepreneur reapply the following year? Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Through you, Madam Speaker, yes, they could certainly reapply. The program is capped at $500,000 each year, and overall capped at $1 million for up to 2 years. So they could certainly apply the following year, assuming they were a new business starting in one of those three sectors identified in the bill. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Camillo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you for that answer, Representative Simmons. This bill was brought out a few years ago by Senator France, and was brought back again this year by Senator France again with Representative Simmons. And I really want to thank them for bringing it out. It passed unanimously out of Commerce, and at a time when it costs business owners so much, especially someone who's trying to start a business with the many hurdles, and in a state where to even close a business, you have to pay money, which is pretty unbelievable. This really is a step in the right direction. It's a positive bill, and again, thank you to Representative Simmons and Senator France for bringing this out, and I urge passage by our colleagues here. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Camilla. Will you remark further on the bill? Representative Srinivasan.
Good afternoon, Madam Speaker. Through you, Madam Speaker, just a few questions to the proponent of this bill.
You may frame your question, sir.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Through you, Madam Speaker, could I have a definition for a first-time entrepreneur? Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Speaker, the definition, I believe, would be a person who has not started a business before in Connecticut. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Srinivasan.
So through you, Madam Speaker, this first-time entrepreneur is somebody who's starting a business in Connecticut for the first time, not necessarily has never started a business before. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Through you, Madam Speaker, yes, I believe that's correct.
Representative Srinivasan.
Through you, Madam Speaker, if this first-time entrepreneur, and hopefully we all wish this entrepreneur well, is successful, and then come the next year around, he or she or that business would not qualify for any of these fees to be waived. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Through you, Madam Speaker, yes, that's correct. It would only be on the first-time basis. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Srinivasan.
And through you, Madam Speaker, my final question for clarification is these fees that need to be filed by a business, like any other business, the fees will still be filed, but the only difference here is the fees will not be paid for by the entrepreneur. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Thank you, Representative, for that question. Through you, Madam Speaker, actually the fees would be paid for by the entrepreneur, and then they would apply for reimbursement through Connecticut Innovations. And the reason we did it that way is so there wouldn't be any fiscal note on the bill or any impact on the general fund. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Srinivasan.
So through you, Madam Speaker, since the entrepreneur will be paying these various fees and then apply for a reimbursement to Connecticut Innovations. Through you, Madam Speaker, will that reimbursement be 100%, or will it depend on the number of applicants, on the number of approvals, and obviously on the cash flow? Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Through you, Madam Speaker, thank you for that question, Representative. And it's anticipated that the reimbursement would be about up to 100%, and we anticipate that on average, a business would save about $1,000 through this process. And again, the program's capped at $500,000 each fiscal year, and so on average, we could anticipate if every business applied, about 500 businesses benefiting from this program. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Srinivasan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm a strong supporter of small businesses and entrepreneurial businesses. And this legislation, I want to thank the good representative and Senator Scott France for bringing this in front of us so that our entrepreneurs have an opportunity to flourish and not have to pay these fees, at least for the first time around. Gives them some kind of an incentive to bring their entrepreneurial skills to our state, a state that obviously needs as much help as we can, given the fact in the various fiscal situation that our state is. So I will be a strong supporter, and I want to thank the good representative for her answers. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, sir. Will you remark further? Representative Acker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And a couple of questions to the good proponent of the bill.
You may proceed, sir.
Just a couple areas of clarification, if possible. I'm in support of this legislation. I thank the good proponent for bringing this out and moving it forward. So I thank Representative Simmons. If a existing business, an existing Connecticut business, was available to purchase, could you use this, or would it primarily have to be a new startup business in this area? Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Thank you for that question, Representative. I believe it would have to be a new startup business. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Acker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And one follow-up question. If by chance in this industry there was, in a manner, call it a franchise, and green technology franchise was available, not in this area though, not in Connecticut, could this possibly fit into that legislation? If somebody wanted to bring that new business, but it's in a franchise model, to Connecticut? Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And thank you. That's a good question, Representative. I believe there would be probably discretion in that case for Connecticut Innovations to take a look at a new franchise starting in Connecticut. So I believe the answer is yes. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Acker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And that's all the questions I have. And just a comment on entrepreneurship. One thing Connecticut did not see during the recession, which happens in many occasions, I'm not sure if it took place throughout the United States in any manner, is that when you have a down economy, what you really see happening is entrepreneurship starting so people can make a paycheck. We didn't see that happen. This could have been maybe a couple years ago's bills, but I'm glad to see it here today, and I'm full support of it. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you to the good proponent of the bill.
Thank you, sir. Will you mark further? Representative Leggett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity to speak about this bill and make a comment or two and ask a couple questions. I'm interested in what the urgency was, or what the interest was that caused the promotion of this bill in commerce. Was there a concern about startup businesses? Was there a concern about helping entrepreneurs get off the ground? What was the impetus that caused this bill to come forward? Through you.
Representative Simmons.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you for the question, Representative. And I think the thinking behind it was that we want to do everything we can to encourage entrepreneurship and startup businesses in Connecticut. And when we're competing with our surrounding states with initiatives like Startup NY and other initiatives other states are putting forward, as well as competing internationally in a competitive global economy, we wanted to put forward a bill that could make it easier to do business and alleviate some of the initial startup costs for businesses, because we know the first 2 years are the most difficult time for a business, and on average it can take up to 5 years to break even. So I think there wasn't necessarily one particular thing that spurred this bill, but just overall the desire to make it an attractive place to do business. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Leggett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I appreciate the answer, and I'm also wondering, to the extent that CI, Connecticut Innovations, can replenish their funding by bonding. I think that's the remedy that they have. Is that why it doesn't appear on the as a line item on the general fund? Because being quasi-public, they go to bond instead when they need more money, and that bond is not has no connection to the state, such that it doesn't qualify as a budget item. How is that represented? Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Through you, Madam Speaker. Thank you for the question, Representative. And yes, you're correct. They do use some bonding money for this. They also generate returns through their other investments of about $25 million a year, so they'd be using part of that. And they've indicated that they wouldn't need to seek any new bonding money. They could do this within their existing staff and appropriations. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Leggett.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Is there a time frame that's being considered for this program, or will it continue out into the future as long as it's relevant? Through you.
Representative Simmons.
Yes, through you, Madam Speaker. So this would be effective July 1st, 2016. It would be a 2-year pilot program. It would end on June 30th, 2018. At that point, there would be a review and determination about whether to continue the program. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Leggett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And so, pretty easy math. We're looking at potentially $1 million, which is within the manageability of CI to cover. And with regard to the businesses that might choose to organize themselves and benefit from this program, I understand that a business could transform itself and well, I guess I could ask it this way. How could a business change its incorporating documents, its purpose? What would it have to do to be considered a startup entrepreneurship? Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Thank you, Representative, for that question. And any company could essentially be considered a startup under this bill. It could be an LLC, an LLP, a domestic non-stock corporation. So any business, as long as it falls under one of those 3 sectors, the green technology, biotechnology, or information service sector. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Leggett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So if an already existing company wanted to have a spin-off or subsidiary that was under one of these 3 categories, would there have to be some separateness between the spin-off or subsidiary and the parent company for it to qualify as a first-time business? Through you, Madam Speaker. Representative
Simmons.
Through you, Madam Speaker, most likely, yes. Representative, thank you for that question.
Representative Leggett.
If a company established a subsidiary or just established, or if people just established a new business under one of these 3 categories and then decided to expand and write new corporate documents, even though it had the same name, would that be considered separate enough to qualify for benefits from CI as a startup? Through you.
Representative Simmons.
Through you, Madam Speaker, yes, I believe they would qualify under that circumstance. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Leggett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the answers. If an existing business decided to take on new principles, and one of them was a woman or a minority, would that qualify them for reconsideration under this bill so that they might benefit from the extra interest or extra consideration that businesses would get for having women and or minorities as principals? Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Through you, Madam Speaker, I don't believe they would since it was already an existing business. However, Connecticut Innovations will be administering the program and reviewing the criteria of it. And so if there was only one application, for example, and that was the application they got that year, I'm sure they would allow that business to be eligible. Thank you. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Leggett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And so for purposes of legislative intent, I'm getting the sense that this bill and Connecticut Innovations through this bill is going to be very permissive in the consideration of the requirements to conform to what this bill requires, and the purpose would be more to facilitate the startup of new businesses rather than to categorize businesses into boxes where they might qualify and they might not. Am I correct in that, through you, Madam Speaker?
Representative Simmons.
Through you, Madam Speaker, yes, you're correct, Representative. They do, Connecticut Innovations, I mean, their mission does focus on return on investment and job growth. Those are 2 of the criteria they do look at, so they would certainly give weight to those areas. But yes, you're correct, there would be some flexibility. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Leggett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for those answers. I think this is an excellent bill, and I like the idea behind it. I like the enthusiasm that I'm sure it's going to generate in the business community, and I look forward to voting in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Will you remark further? Representative Belcito.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have a few questions for the proponent of the bill.
You may proceed, sir.
Thank you. To the proponent, it's stated that, I'm sorry, one second. You have to give priority to female and minority applicants. What happened to the rest of us? Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Simmons.
Through you, Madam Speaker, thank you for that question, Representative. And by no means does this bill preclude other individuals from applying for this program, and male-owned businesses would definitely be eligible and considered as well. It just says that there shall be a priority to female minority-owned. But again, there's 500,000 available each year for this program, and on average, a business could apply for reimbursements of about $1,000. So up to 500 businesses would be able to apply. And looking at the rate of businesses currently started in Connecticut, there'll probably be more than enough for all different types of entrepreneurs to apply for this program. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Belcito.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and through you, Madam Speaker, to the proponent. Why does it say priority to minorities and females? Why doesn't it say it's open to all individuals who was going to start a new business?
Representative Simmons.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Speaker. Thank you for that question, Representative. And it certainly is open to all applicants. I think the reason for the preference is that historically those two entities have been discriminated against and have faced barriers to accessing capital in this state. It was up until 1988 in Connecticut, a woman couldn't get a loan or a mortgage or access commercial lending without a male co-signature, and so there's still unintended consequences as a result of laws like that. And because of laws like that, only about 4% of all commercial loans go to women-owned businesses. And so I think we're just trying to address the fact that we've traditionally underserved those two groups, and so trying to give a slight preference. Through you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Belcito.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd just like to say a few words on this. It really should be open to all, because it almost infers that it's only open to women and minorities. That means any other person, Indian, Native Indian, white person, would not be considered first or be considered at the same level as the rest of the applicants. In my view, this is not a fair bill. That should not have been in there. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, sir. Will you remark further? Will you remark further on the bill? If not, will staff and guests please come to the well of the House? Members, please take your seats and the machine will be opened.
The House of Representatives is voting by roll. Members to the chamber. The House of Representatives is voting by roll. Members to the chamber.
all members voted? Have all members voted? Will members please check the board to make sure your vote is properly cast? If all members have voted, the machine will be locked and the clerk will take a tally.